let's do some hair. Okay, I have done so many curling tutorials, from wands to flat irons. Flat irons, probably not so many, because it's my least favorite thing to curl my hair with. So let's do it today. A few things to start out with, especially if you are new to using a flat iron. You want to make sure that your heat is not too hot. This is set at 350. 350 is really the highest that I need to go. You also want to section your hair out into sections if you're starting, just to kind of get a few trial runs. When I section my hair, I section it twice. So I'll section usually at my temple. So I just take a little clip. I'm going to clip this top section up, and then I separate it down the middle and I pull these forward. I'm going to take a decent size section, and I did just brush through my hair, so my hair is brushed. I'm going to take a decent size section. Another thing to remember when you're doing a flat iron, because I think we get so used to putting so much pressure and clamping this shut, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that because you don't want to put so much pressure on your hair, and you also, that will help eliminate like the creases if you get a crease mark. So we're going to hold this piece straight out. What we're going to do is we're going to gently put it on here. I'm not clamping really tight. I'm going to do one good twist, and I'm pulling straight out. Okay, can we see? I lost it. We'll do it again. All right, so for what I have found to be the easiest, you can go in with an iron and twist and kind of keep twisting it off. I find it's really hard because sometimes your hair doesn't glide, especially if it's second day hair. My hair is pretty clean. It doesn't have anything on it that's made it textured or gritty. So when I put this on, I like to hold it and twist once, okay? Twist once. And if you pull straight out, I'm not being crazy with my hair. I'm not doing anything. Pull straight out. Look at that beautiful curl. Now this bottom is probably a little too curly, but we can go in and straighten it. Look how nice that is. Remember, small sections, small curls. Big sections, big curls. So let's look at a small section here. We're gonna hold it out. We're gonna flip this around. If we are going straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up, kind of straight up. Look at that curl. That is a curl, right? You can also see where I started to direct the hair up. What is it doing? It's giving me body and volume right here, as opposed to when I was doing it here, I was still doing and pulling it more out, but when I was doing it up here, I was pulling it immediately up. Direct these front pieces forward a little bit, and I twist away from my face. That's the other thing I was gonna say. You can absolutely alternate curl pattern if you want. I do think it is most flattering to curl away from your face, your very front section. Then some people will take a second section and curl towards, then back, then towards, then back towards. Totally up to you. I'm gonna hold this forward. I'm gonna take my iron here, and I'm going to start, and I'm twisting away. So I'm gonna be rolling away and bringing it forward at the same time. All right? Twisting and rolling, and look at how pretty that is. So directing it forward helps soften that a little bit, I have found. Next rule of thumb, if your hair does not hold a curl, let it cool. Do not touch it. I know it can be really hard not to touch it, but let it cool completely. You can also spray light hairspray or whatever styling aids you like to use. Let's curl a couple pieces over here. Let's do the front side so you can see how I do it on this side too. So taking a section, and pretty much if you get some of the hair behind your ear, that's okay. But I'm taking this section. This is also the shortest hair on my head. This is the framing on my face. Now this is short up here because those are my layers, but this is the framing that kind of tears down. I'm gonna take this and go forward. We're moving forward with it. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna direct it and twist down, okay? Leave it alone. Leave it alone. We don't care if this is going to be super curly around our face. We want it to be soft right there. A couple things I wanted to mention. So when if I do a curl like this on this side, I try to mimic it over here. So if you do want to add a little bit of a tighter curl, you can just go in and take a section. And remember, smaller sections, smaller curls, broken record here. And we are going to just pull this right up. So now look at what we have. Now we have some symmetry here. It doesn't have to be every single piece has to be the same. This curl right here is more straight than this one. It's fine. But if I do something over here, especially for body, I want to make sure I'm doing it on both sides. Let me show you the back too, because then you aren't worrying. This side is curled back, this side is curled back. Now we're going to address the top. So I just bring this down, and I don't really separate it in the back because the pieces are not as long, so I don't have to worry about really trying to like guide these long strands. So once again, I like to start around my face. This stuff right here, this is the most framing. This is the heaviest framing. So I take a generous section, and I don't want to have this really tight curly Q right on my face. So I'm going to direct this piece of hair forward. I'm flipping my iron upside down. I'm starting and I am gliding and pulling at the same time. Okay, I have a bend. That's all I have, a bend. I just took that piece that came off there and I put it with another curl. So you saw how this was not curled at all, but this piece under it had some curl. So I am connecting the two. Now, I like to do that around my face, especially since this is short and I go from short, 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 long. So it just kind of helps blend a little. I'm gonna go and I'm still wrapping everything back. These ones I'm not gonna hold straight up. I'm not going to go straight up unless you wanna achieve maximum volume. But this stuff, I want to kind of be a longer curl. So it's going on, we're gonna go once, and we're going more straight down, okay? Look at that pretty wave. All right, let's work our way around. So I'm going now this side. I didn't separate it in the middle, but this is a layer that doesn't have a curl yet. So I'm gonna hold it out, put my iron on there, and pull it, glide it, and you can see it's not pulling my hair. It's not so hot that it's like frying it off, and that's that curl. So that got kind of curly. Might run my iron through it really fast on the very bottom. That's that curl. Once again, this side's going back, this side's going back. All right, so we're gonna hold this more straight down, putting our iron on, not clamping super tight, not clamping super tight. We are letting our hair glide. And look at that. Last section. So this is going to be my framing like I did over here. I'm still directing this forward. I'm going to take my iron. So directing it forward, taking my iron, we're going to place it gently and twist and pull down at the same time. Remember, we just want a bend, and I'm going to pretty much tuck it into this piece right here that has more curl. That way, by the time it's said and done, I just like those pieces to be buddies, because then it'll hold it all in place. Now we're gonna let these curls cool. We're gonna let them cool for a second. One thing about using a flat iron, you can absolutely get a tighter curl. Remember this curl here? But since we have a majority of the curls that are more wavy, I am not going to comb my hair. I'm not going to use a pick. I'm going to use my fingers and probably just a little bit of hairspray to finish. So once the curls have cooled, I'm just going to take my hands and gently kind of separate my pieces here. And I always like to hold on to this root area. When I do that, you can separate from the bottom. That way it's not taking away the volume you may have up here already. And one other thing, and if you want to have your hair curled and you like more of that volumey poof on the side part, you still want to curl your hair to the center and then flip, because that's what's going to give you maximum volume. But look at how pretty and how soft that is. Hopefully it's all curled back there. And just separate, take your pieces, separate them. You can leave your hair like this. If you aren't really into a lot of styling aids, you can finish honestly whatever you love most.